shake, shake no day, our voice will resound. Ambazonia's people will never back down. The chains are broken, the pain is gone. Freedom is ours, and a new day has dawned. Shake, shake, no day, no day, no day. Rise to the day, the day, the day. Shake, shake, no day. Amazonia stands strong, we're marching forward, where we belong. From the rivers to the peaks, our strength will grow. The dreams of our forebears in us brightly glow. Our heroes, heroines, their fire still burns. We honor their fight with the justice we've earned. Shake, shake, and I'll win. No day, no day. Rise to the day, the day, the day. Shake, shake, no day. Amazonia stands strong, we're marching forward, where we belong. We are building today for the children to come. No more tears, no more sorrow for anyone. Our flag will rise high, its colors display. Ambazonia's bright future starts today. Shake, shake, over. No day, no day. Rise to the day, the day, the day. Shake, shake, no day. Ambazonia stands strong, we're marching forward, where we belong. We'll shake off the fear and cast out the doubt.
Be on this platform.
Our spirits will rise, there's no turning.
The spokesperson of the Ague of Sea, Mr. Lucas Asu, one of the finest that we have. I always say that people come into this world to play specific roles at specific times. And I'm not just trying to make you feel flattered, but as my able comrade and someone that has been also a little bit old in this revolution, I want to really tell the Ambazonian people that the role that you play currently in this revolution, you were meant for it. The timing is ripe, the messaging is right, and the hope that you give to our people, Ambazonians, is immeasurable. I'm really much privileged to take up some of your time, though you always tell me that time for a revolution is always a part of your daily activities. I want to thank you very much, Comrade Lucas Asu, spokesperson of the Ague of Sea, for joining me in this live video. Today, before I bring you on, today we are going to touch on something that's very critical.
By the way, first of all,
yeah.
let me thank you for the invitation. It's always quite thrilling to interact with you. You're the type of guy that before someone comes on your program, they have to really prepare. so it's quite exciting. It's quite interactive.
Thank you, man.
It's high level conversation, right? So
yep.
Thank you so much. I'm very delightful.
Okay. Thanks very much, comrade, for joining us. You know, we do what we do. There's always something that I want to tell people, Ambazonians, because people hardly understand the various roles that people play in this revolution. You know, the spokesperson of the Ague of Sea, there is a saying that every Ambazonian that is genuinely interested in the liberation of Ambazonia across the globe, whatever you are doing, is a part of the puzzle to free Ambazonians. And I always say that what you specifically, I can put it, and I and other people, other communicators are doing. We are like the controllers who help in controlling a plane to land safely. People always make the comment, "Oh, go down to ground zero and fight. Go down." I mean, we occupy a critical part. It's just like controllers that occupies a critical part in ensuring that the pilot piloting a plane lands safely. So the role that we play is, you know, virtually as controllers in ensuring that the plane lands safely. Um,
Everyone has a role to play, just like life.
mhm,
Everyone has a role to play. There is space, there is a need, there is the importance for everyone. Um, the uprising of our people to be free,
mhm.
the fight for collective dignity, the fight for a better quality of life for our people, the fight for justice, the fight for sovereignty, the fight for life, the fight for a legal system that is fair, that everyone is equal to the
Thank
law.
you. Thank you.
No one is above the law. The fight for better roads, the fight for better quality of education, the fight for better schools, all of these things, right? They all fall under the umbrella of freedom, right? And if people are not free, then they don't have the capacity, they don't have the means, they don't have the ability to control those things. And we live in a world today where, as you already know, most countries are not really free. And we'll be talking a lot about that.
Yeah. Yes, comrade. Just as you said, um, the title of our video today is La République du Cameroun. You know, their intention to negotiate. Let me really go straight. La République du Cameroun to negotiate with Ambazonian commanders. That's the title of this video, and it is really packed. You know, there is a lot that we'll discuss about that. But before we go on to specifics in this our topic, a couple of things have really happened in the continent. You know, my fellow comrade, I always say something that people might hardly understand. Ambazonia has a particular place in Africa. If you look very well, why I say so is that, first of all, Ambazonia was the first part in Africa that exercised genuine democracy, where there was peaceful transfer of power transition of power from one party, one person to the other person. Now, when you look at Ambazonia and the way that this revolution picked up, you realize that after the Ambazonian revolution picked up, spiked, we started seeing a serious agitation in the western part of Africa. Specifically, Mali started the agitation after we started the genuine cause to liberate our people and liberate ourselves. Now it has morphed into Burkina Faso and Niger, and they are all, they call it the AES, the Confederacy of the Confederacy States, the AES, Alliance. I don't know how to call it. It's a French acronym.
That's fine.
I don't know why you can help me with that.
Also,
So
yeah.
yeah. So now there has been a lot of waves trending on the social media and internet on the geopolitics playing on around the Sahel region and its neighborhood, and its surrounding countries. Somehow, some way, when you look at it, we heard of General Langley, a U.S. general, visiting the neighboring states of the Sahel regions with the aim to contain the Sahel regions. We hear of them trying to stage an African post in Ivory Coast. When you look at this, because from my personal conversation with you, you said everything that happens in Africa is interrelated, is interconnected. Looking at what is happening in the Sahel regions, looking at Burkina Faso spearheading the genuine liberation of our people. I can put it Africa as in general, with Assimi Goita and Tiani. Now, when you see like Langley trying to create an AFRICOM head office in Ivory Coast.
Let's be respectful and let's call him U.S. General Langley, please.
Well, I'll be respectful of that, but when I call him Langley, please don't you. There's something you have to understand. Giving them their acronyms, that is deserved is one thing, but when you try to mess with the destiny and dignity, the destiny of a people, I really wonder whether even the respect he deserves that respect. I know you challenge me on that, but that's why I use that. I use that and I undermine the title. If you are a general of the military and if you are doing something for the good of humanity, you deserve all that respect. So that's where I will take it. I know you are someone that respects people's integrity, people's titles, but at times I rubbish them because they don't deserve it when I look at their activities on the ground and on humanity.
That's totally fine.
So yeah, what can you say about that, and how is that really interconnected with Ambazonia? What is happening to the entire West Africa currently, and how is that connected to Ambazonia? Where is our part? How do we fit in this whole puzzle?
States in international relations, which I'm not an expert, I'm just a researcher. Power is the ultimate currency in international relations and in diplomacy. What is happening is there is a seismic shift in the world, You've seen the old system is collapsing and a new system is rising.
Yep.
Okay. The multipolar world that people have been hearing about, it's right in front of all of us. It's right in front of all of us. It's happening in front of everyone, and people need to wake up. Specifically, the people of Africa need to wake up. It's happening. So you lived in a world where the US liberal doctrine has dominated the world since the collapse of the Soviet Union. It's almost 40 years of a unipolar moment. And from 2017,
I'm with you.
The unipolar moment came to an end. The rise of China as a peer competitor to the United States, and the rise of Russia. We are now in a fiercely competitive world with three dominant players. Everyone is trying to adjust. What's specifically happening in West and most part of Africa is the rise of nationalists, people that have looked at how geopolitics controlled by the Europeans and by the Americans, and how they have raped the continent of their natural resources for their multinational organizations at the detriment of those countries and their citizens. So they have installed puppets in exchange for free natural resources. I'll give you a specific example.
Okay.
For a prolonged period of time in Niger, the French have put their puppets in place in exchange for Niger's uranium. So I did some research before coming online. When the market value of uranium was between $100 to $200, you know how much the French used to pay the Niger government?
No.
$1 per kilo.
Wow.
$1 per kilo of uranium, when market value is between $100 to $200.
Wow. Okay.
This is what is at stake. How can these countries develop? Were to be a president, for example, like what happened in Niger, you have to accept that deal. If not, they will overthrow you. They will use their secret intelligence services to overthrow you. And so once you accept that deal, so you now have French company making billions, and the people of Niger don't even have drinking water. And people ask, but why? How come they are so rich but they are poor? Because they have installed puppets. The Europeans and the Americans, controlled by multinational corporations, have installed puppets for free natural resources. That is the game. The need for natural resources. So they use these political games, which they call democracy. All right. They use these games, which they said those are the rules you have to follow in order to mask the economic hitman strategy. Install puppets, put a gun on their head, force them to sign away the natural resources in exchange for them to be in power. So now these puppets have no money to develop the country. They have no money for infrastructures. They have no money for social programs. They have no money for education. They have no money for reforms. That's what's happening.
And no money for defense also.
No, you cannot build a defense system, because building a defense system will take away the powers of the economic hitmen, which is multinational corporations and the Western elites that control political power. They are all owners of this company. They are all shareholders of these multinational companies. That's what's happening. So when you looked at the rise of people like Traore and
Tiani, Assimi Goita.
And Bambandi, is that the one in Mali?
Tiani, General Tiani.
What's his other names?
I don't know. I just know him as Tiani. I just know him by their single
guy, right? So you have the rise of these three nationalists, sovereigntists that are coming in to take back the sovereignty of these countries. So they successfully kicked out the French in order to nationalize this uranium, gold, and all the other national resources, so that they can have a better arrangement. They've taken out the French. Do you know how many coups d'etat Traore has suffered?
Yeah, they've attempted about 18 to 19 or so.
18 coups d'etat.
Within 3 years.
Within this year alone, it's been about 7.
Wow.
Why are these coups d'etat? Who is sponsoring this coup d'etat? These coups d'etat are being plotted by the same French, the British, and most of the European, including their other contacts within the international system of the United States. The collaborative effort to regain control of the resources that now their multinational companies now have to pay in market value. They don't want to pay in market value. They want to rape the resources. So this is the game. It's a fight for natural resources. So now, Mr. Trump has come in. People like you, people like me, people like most of us, we're expecting it's going to be a different world. He promised that he wants to establish a new model. He wants to introduce a new model. He wants to shut down the old system and introduce a new system. Guess what that new system is? It's a system of deals. So he told the Ukrainians, look, the Americans have invested about $250 billion in your defense within the last 3 years. You need to pay us that money back. You need to give us your rare earth minerals for American company to exploit for the investment we made in the proxy war we used to fight Russia. Okay? You getting that?
Yep.
So now, they push Ukraine into a war the Ukrainian people never wanted in the first place, use them as proxy. At the end of that war, in order after Ukraine has been defeated, Ukraine is losing 18 to 24% of its territory. Most of those rare earth minerals, they're in eastern Ukraine. According to analysts, about 80% of those rare earth minerals are in eastern Ukraine. Areas now controlled, annexed, captured, and are now in the control of the Russians. Now they are asking that, give us those rare earth minerals in exchange for the investment we've made. After they've destroyed the country, after Ukrainians have lost more than 1 million Ukrainians, now they want to take away what the Ukrainian people will use in the future for their own development. They want to take it away for multinationals. So now you understand the reason why they invested $250 billion in a proxy war, which they said they want to cause a strategic defeat on Russia and to cause a regime change in Russia. You now understand the end game.
Resource.
Tear the country apart when they are weak, and then you bid them take over their natural resources. So this is the game that is being played across the globe. Now think about how powerful Russia is. It's the same game the Europeans and the Americans want to play with Russia. The whole game of the proxy war in in Ukraine, is to destabilize Russia, create a regime change operation, put in a puppet, and then so that the multinational companies of the United States and the European can have access to Russia $700 trillion
resources.
They've lost the war. The US, the European Union, and NATO have lost the war against Russia. That's why they are pivoting to Africa. France has lost lost Burkina Faso, lost Mali, lost Niger. There were 8 British companies that were operating in Niger, mining gold. You think they're happy for Traore coming in, nationalizing all of those mining companies and now signing those contracts and signing fair deal contracts? 50-50 deal.
50. Yep.
Instead of
win-win.
Instead of a 99 to 1, right? 99 to the French and 1% to the Niger, the
elites. The Niger elites.
The Niger elites, the 1% to the Niger elites. Now, in the case of Burkina Faso, you have a 50-50 deal. 51% for the Burkina base. 49% for the Russian multinationals.
You think
those 8 British mining companies are happy? Do you think the elites that are the investors of these companies are happy? You see why the coups?
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yep.
That's what is sustaining the economy. Without African cheap natural resources, most of those economies will crash.
Collapse.
Okay? They
Yep.
use the deals of these multinational companies. They use these African natural resources as collaterals for billions of dollars of loans. Listen to this. Once they sign those deals with these puppets,
Mhm.
if the calculation is the minerals are worth $1 trillion, for example,
Mhm.
or 500 million, for example,
Mhm.
that those resources, they use it as collateral to go and borrow hundreds of billions of dollars for other investments. That's what's happening.
Okay.
That is what is sustaining the economy. This is what this fight is about. That's why they want to overthrow Traore, implement a regime change, reverse Traore's policy
Mhm.
of nationalizing natural resources, install those puppets in the name of democracy.
Democracy.
Okay?
Mhm.
Install those puppets in the name of democracy. Go and read. The United States, in the last 20, 30 years, has carried out more than 180 regime change operations across the globe. Go read. Go and read. Go and read for yourself. Everybody should go read this stuff. So
Mhm.
when you see these things happening, the United States now, in the absence of French, they want to take those countries and say it's for United States because the US need those minerals for their national security. They need them for their multinational companies. They need them for their economy. Oh, you don't need them. It's the US that need them.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay? The people of Burkina Faso don't need them. It's the US that need them. The people of Niger don't need them for their own development. It's the US that need them. The people of Mali don't need them. It's the US that need them. This is what's happening. And once we understand it is the control of these natural resources because it controls global economy, it fuels global economy. And these Western countries use African natural resources as collateral for financial transaction, financial loans. That's what's going on. That's why they want Traore out. And there's a possibility, we don't know. I'll talk to some of my intel people in the United States to give us an idea of how many CIA bases have already been established in Ivory Coast. The US government has already is setting up a new AFRICOM sub base in Burkina Faso, replacing the French.
Yeah, but it's not going to be business as usual from the geopolitics and the times that we live in. You're right. That's the playbook. Why I'm saying it's not going to be business as usual is because you have, as you rightfully said, you started this part of our discussions by saying that there are other major players in the world now, and because of the mindset that we were conditioned to believe that we must always look west. Now, I think Traore, by pivoting towards the east and wherever the interest of his country comes first, I think he's changing that dynamics. But and I see there is there is power play, as you rightfully put it, in Sahel now that is really intense because the Russians are also deeply embedded in the AES nations, security wise, intelligence wise, military hardware wise. And why I say it's not going to be business as usual, because two key things that has really come to play is the social media awareness, and secondly, the fact that Traore has played a fast one. And you rightfully said it's not yet clear. It's not yet all clear, because the likes of Hugo Chavez, they attempted his life for close to 100 times throughout his reign. So I tend to see that the fact that Traore has applied one of the policies, one of the things that sustain his regime or his reign, is the fact that he has what they call volunteers for the nation. And that's where his deep intelligence comes from. So what's your take about that?
I would like to caution us a little bit.
Mhm.
I'd like to caution the people of Burkina Faso,
Mhm.
the people of West Africa,
Yep.
and even Ambazonians.
Yeah.
Once they start to throw these baits,
Yeah.
go into their Congress and they start to tell you he's corrupt,
Mhm.
he's using the money, all the money from the gold for himself and his close friends.
Mhm.
That's the launching. That's an approval. There is already an approval for a regime change.
Yeah, I don't refuse that.
That's one. So all I'm trying to say is the people of Burkina Faso should get as much help from the Russians as they can get to protect their president and to protect their future. It's
Yeah.
not going to be an easy game.
Yep.
The United States is interested in reinstalling a puppet in the name of bringing back democracy. All right, it's a game. They've played this game over. This is the same game they played they played
in Syria.
No, this is the same game they played with the people of Ukraine from 2014 right up until today, and then they ended up leaving them in a mess. All right.
Syria, the same also. We all forget Syria.
Professor Sachs has always said, if you're a friend of the Americans, be very careful. If you are enemy of the United States, be very careful. They don't make friends. In this game, there are no friends.
It's interest.
Okay? It's all about interest. The French have left. The Americans are coming in to take over the French. All right? Or the Americans are coming in to help the French to get back into the game. To help the French and the British. Remember, I told you there were 8 British companies mining gold in Burkina Faso. So what if the French and the British are all part of this? I'm probably.
It might be. You're right.
I'm probably paying the bills for this.
You might.
All right.
Yeah,
so
it might.
When you
might
get
be right.
When you get the British intelligence services, which is one of the best in the world, you have the CIA, you have the French Legionnaire. I'm not saying that it's not possible. I'm just saying we're living in very interesting times, and we should be very reasonable and very practical that the danger is real. It's not a joke.
Yeah, the danger is real, and that's why I say that us even having these discussions about that, and the times have one of the things I would say that if you look at how things are navigating 19 times or close to 20 times trying to assassinate someone, what is changing the narrative is one of the fact that the human intelligence on the ground is heavy. Secondly, the patriotism of the country is also heavy. Third, I think when it comes to how do you call it, intelligence gathering using the Russians are deeply in bed also there. And if you and one of the things that we have to also caution very well is that in Burkina Faso, the ones that are attempting to do what the bidding for their masters, they should understand that Campaure, after 25 years, he's in jail. That's one of the things that in the land of the upright, no matter how long it takes, there's always going to be time to pay up. So yeah, coming to that situation.
Let me just add one more thing.
Mhm.
These multinational companies that are exploiting African resources, you know what their
Mhm.
profit, their yearly profit? You know what their
Trillions of
yearly profit is? These multinational companies that are exploiting African resources, do you know what their yearly profit?
it is going to trillions of dollars annually. I can say that. So everything is about interest, as you've always told me. It's about the money. Follow the money.
Yep. But once we get out of our emotions, we'll begin to speak different language.
No, it's true. No, the point is clear. You know, when you get into geopolitics, you start looking at not the human emotions that is in place, but you look at the interest.
These things have zero emotions.
Yep, yep. And I think when you look at the Ambazonian revolution, I think we were first tricked into, anyway, I can put it that there's maturity as you step into revolution. You throw the emotions, you think that the world is full of emotions, and people will yield to your emotions and act rightly. But we fast realized, people, Ambazonians fast realized that it doesn't hold true. It doesn't hold water. It doesn't hold true. So you have to really focus on the real deal. What is most interesting and what Ambazonia can offer the world, what the world can offer to Ambazonia. That's where the negotiation comes from as we continue to battle our way through our independence. So, yeah, one quick thing I want to ask you: with all this that's playing on in Africa, in the west coast of Ambazonia, how does Ambazonia fit into this? How? What do we gain? What do we understand out of this?
What we should
What do
understand.
we?
What should
What
we
should
understand, or how is this connected to Ambazonia?
how is it connected to Ambazonia, and what is the lesson that we can learn as things are happening currently in Africa?
It's connected to Ambazonians. That's why Ambazonians are being killed. It's playing out in front of us. All right.
Interest.
They are only using La République. Do you know why Cameroon cannot develop itself? Do you know why Cameroon doesn't have money to even build hospitals? They have to borrow money from China to build their own roads, right? They have to borrow money from the IMF to pay teachers. How come a country is so rich in terms of natural resources, but they have to go borrow money from the IMF and the World Bank to pay teachers on a monthly basis, to pay nurses and doctors? They have to borrow money to build roads. They have to borrow money to build hospitals. And then they use the interest from the money they've borrowed. They come and build something like a parliament for them as a gift. Okay? You know why? Because the resources are auctioned in exchange for power. Okay? The multinational companies, it's the same thing happening in Ambazonia. 65% of the GDP of Cameroon comes from Ambazonia.
Yep.
It's all natural resources controlled by the British and mostly the French and a little bit of the Americans. Predominantly the French and the British. Do you see now why Mr. Lamora is in Ambazonia on a weekly basis? Do you now understand why he's in Ambazonia on a weekly basis? Look, we need to wake the fuck up, because our way of fighting this liberation struggle, we started from very naive process and perspective.
Yep.
Thinking that we're fighting La République. We're not fighting La République. We're fighting the systems that have put Mr. Biya in place and are there to guarantee power.
To maintain the extraction.
To maintain the benefits, the billions and 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 billions. Just like the case of Niger. Look at all the natural resources of Amazonia. Cameroon cannot provide money, cannot provide its people with electricity, drinking water, or even roads. Everything is on borrow. Why? because those natural resources are
Don't belong to us.
collateral for British government and multinational companies. They use that money for their pension funds. Until we understand what is at stake, we all will be victims of social intelligence and social engineering. Because
that's the more reason.
So
that's the more reason why. Well, I think that's the more reason why the French set up the Cooperation Accord. That's just clear. You're right, because it's open. Everything that is economically beneficial to is ours.
So imagine, Mr. Bia, for example, imagine, let's say, a barrel of oil, a barrel of Ambazonian oil. Mm-hmm. Cameroon only makes, let's say, only $5, as an example.
Why the barrel is about $60, $70?
Yeah,
in the market.
Okay. Before Russia became modern Russia today, they did the same thing with Russia. When the barrel of oil was $40 in world market, the Russian state was getting $1. Wow.
After the collapse of Russian state?
Yeah.
After the collapse of USSR, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. The multinationals were getting $39. So by the time the money gets into the treasury, it's a quarter.
Oh, okay.
It's the same thing happening in La République. All of these cartels that they have set up, all of these chiefs, all of these elites, which are called oligarchs, all of them, these are all hand-picked, selected, tiny niche networks of imperialists, of colonialists that are benefiting, that they have used to keep the population in check and to kill anyone who dares to speak up and to stand up. That's why there is so much violence. That's why La République is a state governed by violence. Frighten, terrorize, kill anybody, and nobody will be held accountable. So it's an extension. What's happening in most part of Africa, Ambazonia is just an extension. Mr. Bia, they are using Mr. Bia, they are using the bees, they are using the police, they are using the gendarmes to defeat any resistance, because independence means a loss of 65% control of that GDP, of those natural resources. That means Ambazonia is going to act like Traore. That means Ambazonia is going to take these natural resources and start to sell it in market price. That means these multinational companies will not be worth the billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars they are worth.
They'll have to renegotiate with Amazonia.
Billions of dollars in terms of fair trade, will their market capitalization and value will drop to more than 50%. You know what that will do to the West? That's why they don't want these countries, these nations, to have sovereignty. That's why they don't want them to have independence.
But that's the business. We have to keep on fighting.
It's a game. Yeah, I understand. But once you understand what's happening within the world and how the world is set up, okay, it's a savage system.
Yep.
Once you understand how it's set up, then we now will know how to go about it. If we don't know how it's set up, if we don't know the forces behind the forces that are operating at the forefront, then we won't know how to go about it. We won't even know how to communicate. Mm-hmm. We won't even know how to present ourselves.
Yep.
This is beyond La République.
Yeah, of course.
It's beyond La République. Okay. I don't know if there is a video that came out over the weekend. of an Ambazonian called Pen Boy, a poet. La République, for the first time, has moved its Cameroun Film Festival from Yaoundé to Boya. So they brought up this young Ambazonian called Pen Boy, who stood in front of this. A film festival has become a place in which they have to promote the Cameroon state and its diplomacy. They brought in all the elites. A film festival is no longer for artists. It's no longer for filmmakers. It's no longer for these people that are creating content and and turning words to pictures and stories. It's dominated by the colonial state.
Yeah,
Guess who was the special guest of honor? Lamora.
The French ambassador?
No, Lamora, the US ambassador. Guess who's the second special guest of honor? The colonial governor, the paramount chief of FACO, and all the elites of the Southwest and Northwest in a film festival. So this young man called Pen Boy stood in front of these people and used the power of spoken words and send a message to the core of their being, to their soul. Spoke about the barbarism, the killings, the rape, in a poetic manner. The US ambassador had to put his face on the ground. Wow. Watch the 2-3 minute video that's circulating out there. Okala Bilai couldn't look in the camera. All of those elites, including the paramount chief of FACO, those words were the most powerful bullets that were shot at them, that were fired. It was like rockets being launched, piercing them. It was a powerful message about their crimes they've committed on the Ambazonian people.
I'll have to check on that. Thanks, man, because you really bring the connection with what is happening in the AAS states and what is going on in Ambazonia. And the messaging is that we have to keep self-pity aside and fight for the heart and soul of Ambazonia, because the battle is bigger. We're just joking. And there should be no mercy for anything that stands on our path.
Of pride poured upon the souls of men. The laments of the youth, widows, orphans became nothing and nothing but feathers for an old man's armpit. They laughed. They laughed. They laughed and mocked at our pain. I saw it. I saw trees bearing arrogance, and there was a mad rush for harvest. The hearts of men slowly turned to rocks. Consciences grew wings and fled away. The gods were no longer at ease. No man to keep them at peace, so they sang into earth. And I heard the drummers drum warnings, and the trumpets of war were blown. I saw it. I saw it. The most hideous things my eyes have ever seen. I saw children picked up by as pigs. The Takungan danced naked on our streets. The Malay dance steps will change from steps of mystery to steps of ambush. More anger in their voice, no reasons in their choice, just war. Just war. Just war. And it soon came to pass. I saw heads drop to the ground, all in our streets, threats perish. Every day we crowd out in fear, seeking shelter from bullets and bombs. As young as I was, I had seen more blood than a drunkard had seen wine. I saw it. Every night we crowd out, seeking shelter from bullets and bombs. Every twilight, I stood gazing through my window, wondering how my mother would soon become a widow, or perhaps me an orphan. I cried. And today, I still cry. These tears won't leave me, and I ask myself, why? Why? It's always us, the grass, who suffer when elephants wrestle. It's the ignorant who pay for the mistakes of the learned. It's us, the poor, who pay for the crimes of the rich. Why is it always us, the children, who have to pay for the mistakes of our fathers and mothers? Shall we continue to live this way? We are not children of a lesser people. We just want a place to call home. A place we can turn free. Home is where we can speak without prejudice. Rise up against injustice. Shut down streets and beer parlors without fear of being shot and shot and shot and shot to the head like dogs. My soul rebels against a system that teaches man how to survive and die. We don't just want to survive. We want to live. Thank you.
Trying to defy us because, you keep on. That's very important that we make sure that our people understand what we are dealing with, because the questions we've asked and you've asked, in some of our outings was this: how dare people come out and claim that they are beacons and champions of democracy, those who maintain the world order? They will pick up people who have legal refugee status and some even having citizenship in Nigeria, and they take them, they kidnap them against international laws, refugee laws, and they bring them into the Republic of Cameroon. You never heard the EU make a statement. You never heard Norway make a statement. They sat quiet.
Why should they make a statement? You know why?
No, I'm just saying.
You know why? But you know why they can't make a statement, right? It is against their interest.
That's what I'm saying, because that is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that we should bullshit some of these so-called international rules, bills, order. It only works for the interest of those who created it.
Yes.
And we should be able to forget about it.
I like the way you're talking now.
Now, we should be able to forget about it and fight with a bloody nose ceaselessly for what belongs to us. That real estate in the name of Ambazonian is ours. We were created in this world. We came into this world on equal base, equal footing, like any human being across the globe. Nobody made other people as owners of other people. And there is a clear saying that freedom is not handed, it is seized, it is taken by force. And as you rightfully said, unless you analyze this and break it down to its simplest terms, for us to gain clarity and understand that structures that have been put in place are window dresses. And when the shit hits the fan, our expectations from these big organizations is like, okay, you act fairly. We see the level of injustice, unfairness play out in front of us. It boils down to one thing that you've constantly been telling us in this show: self-interest. They were not created to serve the world, and humanity were created by people to create that shadow, that mirage, for us to see that it is actually what it is. But it was created for their own self-interest. It boils down to that. Now, comrade, I know if we have to go deep just into this, we have a couple of things to touch. Let me pick up on the next thing that I really want us to. You've really created that connection between what is going on in West Africa, how it affects Ambazonia, and us keeping our emotions aside and focusing on the real deal, fighting for what rightfully belongs to us. And you make a good connection. It is not different from what we are fighting for. It's the same. I want to ask your opinion about something. Recently, we learned that one of our biggest revolutionary fighter, Abdul Karim, they gave him life imprisonment in the kangaroo court of the Banana Republic of Cameroon. What is the implication of that? Why life sentence? Why? I mean, Abdul Karim is in their jail. Why such sentencing, and why does it come in at this time? What can you say about that?
How many people that have stolen billions of CFA from La République du Cameroun have been given life sentence? How many? Like, seriously, right?
Mhm.
How many people that have stolen billions of dollars in La République du Cameroun have been given life sentence? How many? What crime did he commit?
Just being an Ambazonian.
What does it mean to be an Ambazonian? It means you came from a place that is rich. And you, being an Ambazonian, you're not human. You don't deserve the wealth. We, the British, we, the French, we, the Norwegians, we, the Danish, we, the Finnish, we, the Dutch, we, the Germans, we are superior human beings. We created this world. We own this world. We deserve those things because we want a higher quality of life. So it is our right to kill you, kill your people, kill your parents, kill your children, using Cameroon as mercenaries.
They are superior in barbarism, not as civilized people. That's what I can say.
Okay. So
they might claim the superiority because we've taken that for too long.
Abdul Karim is jailed, given life imprisonment because he's asking for sovereignty for Ambazonia. And sovereignty for Ambazonia equals what? The loss of everything the French, the British, the Americans, the Norwegians have invested in building the bee, in building the gendarmes, in building the army, in building the presidential guard, in buying armor cars from Canada and other places. All right, it means a loss of their investment. It means Mr. Biya will no longer have control over Ambazonian natural resources. So they are killing the jail Abdul Karim in order to send a signal to you, to me, to every Ambazonian on the ground. You want to speak up about this sovereignty? That's what's going to happen to you. Is this what you want to fight for? If you want to talk about this, I'm going to put you in jail. Remember? They said they own the world, they own international courts, and they own international law. They own the international institutions. So what they are trying to do is the same thing they do with Sisekwa Yoktabe Julius. It's the same thing they did with Tassan Wilfred. It's the same thing they did with Panfo. It's the same thing they're doing with Ambazonia. They are sending a signal to frighten everybody. If you want to live, stop talking about Ambazonia and accept whatever shit the cartels in Cameroon have given you, and shut the fuck up.
It's going to be a bloody fight because this is a different generation. We the revolutionaries in Ambazonia, we live to die for our land.
So that's why.
That is it. We live to die for our land.
That's
If you are
why.
not cut out of a cloth to be ready to die for Ambazonia, then this is not a fight for you.
So
This is where the rubber meets the road.
Abdul Karim is a victim of a stolen state. A state that has been stolen and its resources auctioned to multinational companies using Cameroon. Mr. Biya is in chains. Diongute is in chains. Atanganji is in chains. All the cartels called Ambazonian oligarchs are all in chains to make sure they kill all Ambazonia and silence everyone who is talking about this thing.
We will fight. That is their modus operandi. We know as nationalists. We will fight to the last man standing, but we are not going to hand this enslavement to a future generation. This is a different generation.
It's not we'll fight to the last man standing. I think that's the wrong language. What it means is we know what we want, we know what's at stake, and we know how to fight. Others have fought and won. And so too will Ambazonia.
Well, you put it rightly. You're right, because, okay, yeah, we're still talking about the jailing of people. I mean, what is the end game with the sick in the courts of Norway? Because we've challenged, I mean, they have changed the various reasons for jailing the CIC of the Hague of Sea.
Does it really matter how many reasons they change or not change?
It doesn't. I understand, but the question now is this: what is the end game? He's there now on what charges? On what basis?
There is only one end game. There are no charges. It's a fucking game. It's a fucking psychological game with the Ambazonian people, just like the game they're playing with Abdul Karim by giving life sentence. It's a game.
But I understand they have not given any charge. They have not.
The arrest of Dr. Cho, the detention of Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba, it's a very powerful psychological game. Those that owns Cameroon are playing using Norway. What does Dr. Cho stand for? He stands for the complete independence and freedom and sovereignty for Ambazonia. So he's the primary threat before anyone else because of his policy to want nothing but independence, freedom, and sovereignty for Ambazonia. He's been the number one primary threat not only to Cameroon, to the United States, to the British, to the French, to the Norwegians, to the Germans, to everyone that benefits from free natural resources coming out of Ambazonia. He's a threat. Independence means a threat. Freedom means a threat. Sovereignty means a threat. What's the end game? To frighten you, to frighten me. The end game is to frighten Ambazonians. The end game is to test the will of the Ambazonian people. It's a test. Are you only going to depend on him for your freedom? After 80 years, can the Ambazonian people, can Ambazonian mothers, can Ambazonian fathers, can Ambazonian children, can Ambazonian boys, can Ambazonian girls, have they learned something from him? Has it educated them enough? Psychologically transformed them enough Has he nationalized them enough? Can they do it without him? That's the test. This is the test. It's a test to Ambazonian commanders. Does it mean something for them? Does Dr. Cho mean something to the Ambazonian people? What does he mean to the Ambazonian people? Does Abdul Karim mean something to the Ambazonian people? Does Sissekwa Yoktabe mean something to the Ambazonian people? Does Mancho BBC mean something to the Ambazonian people? Does Penteres mean something? If these people have significant value and meaning to the Ambazonian people, then Ambazonian need to double its effort. We need to triple, quadruple our effort and our anger. Without anger, there's no victory. Ambazonian need to be angry. We need to be enraged. They jail, they arrest your hero. You're not upset. You're not enraged. You're not angry. If you're not angry, the enemy has defeated you. If you're not enraged, then the fear of the enemy has taken over you. If you are not furious, because you need the emotion called anger to be able to fight Cameroon.
Well,
and so that test, the end game, teach diaspora a lesson. Using Dr.
they have not succeeded. Have they succeeded? No.
Teach
They're
Dr.
still
Cho,
out.
teach Ambazonians a lesson. Teach diasporans a lesson using Dr. Cho. If you take Dr. Cho and you fabricate and you bring up all fictitious charges and you change the stories from one story to the next, and then you give Norwegians, multinational companies, you award them with contracts as a reward. What's the end game?
Yeah, but they've not succeeded.
Put so much
They have not
fear.
succeeded.
Put so much,
Organization is still, there's no fear.
okay, just
It's
let,
only,
let me just round up.
yeah, I'm just like trying to make sure that even though you are, it
Put
sounds
so
so
much-
a little bit,
just hold on a second.
go ahead.
Put so much fear in the Ambazonian people, they want to give up. And so the test to Ambazonians, the world want to test you. They want to test your will. They want to test your commitment. They want to test your readiness. How ready are you to be free? How ready are you? It's a test. They're
Well,
testing
I'll-
me. They're testing you. They're testing all of us. So what they are testing is, can the liberation and the resistance be intensified? Can new commanders emerge? Can commanders be able to get all these, to get these oligarchs that are killing them? Can they have them? Can they arrest some of these oligarchs? 10, 15, 20 of them? That's the fight. The fight is between Ambazonians and the oligarchs. That's the real fight. And so, as they will keep testing us, 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 okay? At some point, they would like to shut out the diaspora. I'm not kidding. They would like to shut us out. Can Ground Zero survive? So these are all things we need to look into to get our people ready, because there is something bigger that is at stake. and commanders on the ground need to get ready.
Yeah.
They have not succeeded. They have not succeeded. They are testing us too. I'm not saying they have succeeded. They are testing us. Dr. Cho, even if they kill Dr. Cho, Ambazonian will still rise and even higher. Even if they give him 100 years in jail, he was ready for it in the first place. Even if the Norway decide to send Dr. Cho back to La Republique, even though it's not a La Republique citizen, Ambazonian will still be free. Regardless of what they do to Dr. Cho, he has programmed, conditioned, trained, developed, educate the Ambazonian people enough. The new generation know exactly what to do. They know exactly what to do. Remember, when this thing started 9 years ago, some of those kids were 10 years old. They are 19 now. They were 12 years old. They are 21 now. They were 13. They are 22, 23, 24, 25 years old now. They saw the rape. Just like Pen Boy. They saw the killings. They saw the massacre of their children. They saw the bees blowing people's head off, killing their boys, their friends in neighborhoods. Those children will fight. Trust me. They will stand up. After what they have seen, after what they've gone through, you think they want to live that life? Hell fucking no. So La Republique can go up, they can go down. They're just testing Ambazonians. It's not going to be easy for La Republique.
Yeah, you bring a very good point here, because if you look at how many trillions of dollars were spent in Afghanistan, and those who fought and liberated Afghanistan were babies. Some were not even born. Some were young as 5. Some were young as 2. They are the ones that carried the gun and continued the crusade till their land was free. So we have gone into
at the age of 5, the war lasted for 20 years.
Yep.
At the age of 5, 15 years later, those guys were 20 years old, right?
Yeah, and they were in the field fighting. You're right, because we are at a point of no return. It's either Ambazonian exists as a state, or we continue fighting. Now, it brings me to a point now. Recently, I think the vice president of AGOC, he put out a statement that the La Republique of Cameroon has been trying to contact the corps generals that are in charge in the various parts of the territory.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he put up a statement. So, yeah, can you shed more light on the statement and what is actually going on? What is La Republique of Cameroon's, what is their intent? What is the intention behind that? Because there is a lot of, that was just a statement that he made, but it carries a lot of weight. What is La Republique of Cameroon's, angle contacting the generals on the ground, and where are they heading to? What is the end game? What are they trying to do?
La Republique's end game from 2016 till now has not changed.
Yeah, the angle that they're coming on, talking to, they try to get to the general. So what's the point? What are they going to do?
La Republique end game from 2016 up until now has not changed. Delegitimize any relevant actors. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Contacting generals means I don't want to talk. I don't want to negotiate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not interested in negotiations, because showing interest in negotiations, like what happened during the Canada pre-talks, is acknowledging the identity of these people.
Mhm.
I don't want to acknowledge their identity because I have changed the constitution of Cameroon in 2021 and 2022. They have amended certain clause in the Cameroon constitution redefining citizenship. That was the first time. They've redefined citizenship to mean anyone, you are a citizen of the Republic of Cameroon if you were born or you are born or your parents came from the territory of former British Southern Cameroons, which was eventually called West Cameroon. They have redefined citizenship. And also East Cameroon, which was La République du Cameroun. So anyone that is born within this pre-plebiscite Ambazonian and La République and post-plebiscite Ambazonian and La République, you're a citizen of Cameroon. So they don't want to engage as they did during Canada talks because that is giving legitimacy to Ambazonians' historical rights.
It has been documented that there was a pre-talk and
Understand?
there's evidence.
I understand. Let's get to the meat of this stuff.
Now, I get you. Just have to
Right.
make sure that we put it
So
clear out there.
then, even if they engaged and then they back off, at this moment, it's suicidal for them to engage. Remember what's at stake? 65% of the GDP. I want that to sink into Ambazonians. By engaging in negotiation means I could lose the territory. Call Ambazonia, call Northwest and Southwest. That's what negotiation means.
Yeah, you bring this point about there's no.
Let me
I don't want to lose this thought. You get it.
Let me connect the dots around my thought process. La République does not want to lose 65% of the GDP. They don't want to lose the natural resources. So they don't want to engage. I don't want to acknowledge your existence. So I'm avoiding the political leadership. And I go straight to the fighters. And I tell the fighters, listen, you are the commanders on the ground. You are the leaders on the ground. Let's meet and talk and solve this problem without diaspora, because diasporans are the problem makers. They are the ones that are preventing us from talking to you. We want to talk to you directly. Okay? You talked about divide and conquer. Yes, you can call that divide and conquer. So let me separate the political leadership, contact the forces, and have localized dialogue, which means if you're in the state of Manu, I contact you in the state of Manu, using the link at least in the state of Manu. I deal with you there, it ends there. I contact the ones in Meme, and we use the elites in Meme, we use the SDO of Meme, we use the B general in Mabanda. We bring money to you, we offer you a lot of money and opportunities, and then we said, yeah. So this is what La République is trying to do. They want to end the conflict without solving the problem. I want Ambazonian to get this very clearly. Their goal is, how do I end this conflict? Bury the problem without ever talking about it. Even if it's for the meantime. Even if it's to help me get through the election season. Someone else can deal with it later on. At this moment, I am desperate and I'm confused. So I take desperate measures and I take desperate actions to find my way through. If I can be able to separate the political leadership from the defense leadership, then I've succeeded to a certain extent. Unfortunately for La République du Cameroon, they got some really terrible news. They got some really terrible news from Ambazonian Defense Forces commanders. La République got some terrible news. You know what ADF commanders told the colonial governor of Northwest, as they call it, Lille l'Afrique? Now you know we exist. You people said the ADF does not exist. How do you want to negotiate with something that does not exist? Today, you're calling us. You said we don't exist, but you want to come and negotiate with the same ADF that you said doesn't exist. Let me tell you something. There is one Ambazonian, and there will only be one negotiation. It's not going to be on the ground. That negotiation will be done by the international community through the Ambazonian Governing Council. The ADF and the Hague of Sea are one. The ADF, it's a military wing of the Ambazonian Governing Council. We are the Hague of Sea. You can't separate the ADF and the Hague of Sea. If you want to talk, go call Dr. Choluka Saiba. You want to talk? You want to negotiate an end to this conflict? Go talk to Apa, the man when I build the forces on the ground. If we want to negotiate, if we want to talk, if we want to end this conflict, we go talk for the commander-in-chief of Ambazonian Defense Forces. We go talk for the leader, Dr. Choluka Saiba. We go talk for the vice president of the Ambazonian Governing Council. Say, La République du Cameroun is ready for talks. That's what ADF top commander told Lille l'Afrique. You know what they told the SDO of Momo?
No.
Hello? Now who this? I mean SDO for the state of Momo. Would he call you so the governor don't talk, say, make a call when I make a see if we find a way for meet up now. Anything we want, I will give now. The president, the head of state, he don't talk, say, you want to make this war come to an end, and he go do everything for take care of now, for solve this problem. So we want to see if we meet up now, you and your boys, for dialogue, for make things that come to an end. The general tell you, said, I think so. He called me so. I say, get 200 guns or sticks, and you want give we make will liberate you because you yourself you dey under captivity. You way they call me, you will be say the SDO. You dey under La République, their captivity. I think so they call me so today. I say you get 200 guns and you want give way for liberate this land so that we free you. You hear?
Yeah.
He said, no, you know the reason we contact una because now una be the leaders on the ground. He said, look, the truth say we the commanders will be the leaders on the ground. But now only one Ambazonian day. The ADF, it is under the Hague of Sea. And the leader of the Hague of Sea and the ADF, Dr. Choluka Sayaba. Any talk, when we want to talk about negotiation, now only the political leadership of the Hague of Sea be in charge of negotiations with the Ambazonian people. Not be the commanders. When we go talk for Dr. Cho and Dr. New, they can't tell me.
You see, that's the benefit of
negotiation. It not go happen on the ground. Negotiation, it go happen in front of the international community, not be inside the Republic. This one, now the power of waiting make the ADF the ADF. You see their confidence, you see their boldness, you see their audacity, you see their assertiveness and their authority, their mastery of the terrain and how to respond.
You know, that's the more reason why it is very important that putting a revolutionary organization or having a revolutionary front, you should really educate your soldiers and educate the people why they are fighting and how it is structured and who is responsible for what. You know, when you put out a response from the commanders and the generals on the ground, how they respond to the enemy, it shows some level of structure and leadership in the Hague of Sea. Because this still brings me to one recently spokes. We learned that there is one general also called General Millipit in the southern zones that decided to take his boys to go and surrender. Is it still part of what he just laid out to go and surrender to the governor or to the DDR? Is this part of what you laid out? And before you answer this question,
yeah,
I think Ambazonian soldiers and nationalist fighters, the question you should be asking yourself is this: what has become your colleagues or your friends who joined the DDR center? They have been used for two objectives: function as a propaganda tool to weaken your psyche or be killed. Show me where any of those people who were lied to and they went and joined the DDR, show me how better their life has become. They have been targeted and killed. They have run out of the country, like the Namberes. Some of them have been killed. Some of them have been decapitated. So there is just one way only for our freedom: fight and keep fighting.
So what's the question you have for me on this?
The question I have for you is this: what triggered this guy, General Millipit, and his guys to go and surrender? Is it still what the Library Cameroon has been trying to strategize to pick the commanders one after, or generals one after another, and try to convince them or coerce them?
In every liberation struggle and in every war, there are so many ways to fight. There are so many ways to fight, and there are so many ways to win. What is happening on the ground is a lot of forces on the ground that rose up to fight for Ambazonia were not connected to honest, patriotic leadership. Some Ambazonians also, they took advantage of the liberation struggle as a platform for money. La République, as we all know, created a lot of forces on the ground as well. Mask them as Ambazonian fighters for strategic reasons and in strategic places. We saw that in Libya. A key critical moment, they will pull those forces out, parade them as forces that have surrendered. There is a lot going on the ground in terms of these localized negotiations. And then you have handlers. Some have transacted these forces to La République for money. Remember what I said, there are many ways to fight and win, and there are many ways to do negotiations. So what we are witnessing now is middlemen that these forces have relied upon. Some will betray the forces and cash out, and will leave these forces with no choice. Also, it is also possible that some of these forces were not Ambazonian forces. I'm not saying Millipede was not. I'm saying some of them were not Ambazonian forces. They're just calling them back to go back to where they came from. Okay? So they use this series of events that are happening on the ground. But the case of Millipede could be one or the other. It could fit in one of the three boxes as I've explained. There's no clear cut as to who he is, because as we all know, what political movement was he under? You know? Just because someone is carrying a gun on the ground, we should not assume. I've always said this to Ambazonian people. Just because someone is carrying a gun on the ground, don't assume. Don't assume. Things are very complex. We should be very watchful. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, just coming to that, all I can say is that I know, like you rightfully said, to fighters that doubt the leadership that they belong to, join the AGOVC and the ADF. We have proven to you time and again that we fight for our people. If for any reason whatsoever you have a leadership that doesn't give you focus and direction, we have been in this war for 8 years, and you know, not that we have to sit and convince you, you know who fights for our people. And I keep on advocating for those fighters on the ground. There are some called independent fighters, and they have handlers. If for any reason you doubt your handler, and you know that they are trying to railroad you into the enemy's hands, figure out their way and join the AGOVC, join the ADF structure, and let's continue the journey. Because betrayal is real on the ground. And from what we can say, if the ADF wasn't built on very solid structures, they would have decapitated us. We lost one of the finest in Bui, but the ADF still rolls on, and we are still on the move. So I just want to make sure that I like in the Boyo, we've seen a very robust and competent forces having paid their allegiance to maintain their independence, but they pay their allegiance to the AGOVC. So I still use this opportunity to call upon forces on the ground that doubts the leadership that they are acting under. We are open. It's one revolution. We are nationalists. If you doubt your handlers, reconnect with the AGOVC and the ADF, and we'll take you under our umbrella and make sure that you are protected and guarded, and we move along.
One of the most important thing, and one of the most important lessons forces can learn, it's a conversation between Ambazonian Defense Forces commanders and Cameroon official government. That was classic. That's classic leadership. That's exemplary leadership.
Yep.
And so it's important, as you've said, for forces to be connected. It doesn't matter who's handling these forces, but transacting these Ambazonian forces to Cameroon for financial purposes, at some point, the truth will come out. These stories will be told. A lot of these forces exist. And so the matters will show up. Things will come to the limelight, and a lot of Ambazonians will be held accountable for betraying the Ambazonian people for financial benefits, sacrificing forces that have fought for 9 years, for 80 years, for 7 years, selling them to Cameroon for financial benefits so that Cameroon can use it as propaganda against the liberation struggle. Lastly, it's important these forces know that they are fighting for something that is way bigger than themselves. Surrendering to La République du Cameroon as a commander, as a fighter, the power comes from the rifle you own and carry. Now, think about this. You are a commander, Milipi, for example, one of the top commanders in the state of India. It means you have equal powers as Lele Lafrique.
Yeah.
As Okala Bilal.
Yes.
As SDO. As DO. You have more powers. You have the same power as Lele Lafrique. You have the same power as Okala Bilal. You have the same power as an SDO. What will make you choose from having such powers to allowing yourself to become a slave, to be chained? What will make you allow yourself to become a rabbit?
Spokes, let me make one little amendment to your statement you just made. They are powerful than them because the ground, they yearn for freedom, they look up to them, they react and respond to them, majority of the ground. So they're even more powerful than those people you just listed, because the ones listed that you just listed are imposed on our people. But our people that are yearning for freedom, they have given them that legitimacy to guide them through to freedom. They have given them that currency, the how to call it, the moral currency. They have given them the people are behind them, the people power. That is what they even own. They don't even you can't even compare their powers. The powers of these generals is bigger than the SDO, bigger than the Republic of Cameroon, as long as, most especially if they are fighting for the people, because the people are behind them. What will push you with all that strength? Because those guys are imposed on our people. What will push you? And our people look up to you as a fighter, as a revolutionary, standing for our people to go, and then you surrender to the Republic of Cameroon. That's, you have betrayed not only the cause, you have betrayed your people. You have betrayed the future of that land.
They have betrayed not only betrayed the people, they have betrayed their own souls, because you know where they're going to end up? You know where they're going to end up? You know where they're going to end up? The Republic is not going to spare anybody.
Any of them. Yeah. Right? That's true.
La Republique is not going to spare anyone in DDR. It's not La Republique. You don't know La Republique. They don't forgive.
Yep. All
right? DDR is just for propaganda purposes.
Yeah.
After they finish doing the propaganda, they would eliminate all of you one by one. So why you want to come up from being a king to being a slave? Why? You want to come up from being a king? See the kind of power we want to get them on the ground. And you want to be a slave? A brother, a sister there. The day you drop your gun, when negotiation never come, say one go for DDR, you better give your gun for another soldier.
Yep. Yes.
Cross, go Nigeria.
Yeah.
Than for you for go surrender to DDR.
Surrender. Carry other weapon. That power.
If you surrender to DDR, you don't come out from a king and you make yourself like rat, like rat. That's so La Republique. Let me say now, anytime with La Republique police, if he come now, he beat you, slap you, rob you for shit. If he even tell you make you open your mouth, me peace inside. If he even tell me open your mouth, make the shit inside.
If you even shoot with your foot, if he kill you, you think say you did out, you be free. You think say you turn around, it all as a let you think say you be free. No. You be a marked person. As long as you don't carry gun for fight for your people. They trick you, throw you small trinket, you think say which kind of enemy it will give something to benefit you. When he knows say you don't kill a people.
Yes.
Then you think say they go leave you. You think say the small thing that trap that for hold you. How many of the ones they don't go surrender give for? How many of them don't be better off? How many of them don't change? They carry the guilt, the scar for betray their people.
You command an entire state.
I'm telling you.
You command
with the people behind you.
Hey.
With the people behind you. Not just saying that you won. The people that are behind you. Those people that impose their own owner.
Logistics. I get one request for you.
Okay.
Some really good news. They come from my side here. Before one come for this show, as you know, will be a little bit late. Just because I be one, make sure say I cast my vote for tonight. Canada, they vote for one of the most consequential elections for the history of this country.
Yeah.
Based on the changing global dynamics, the threat coming from the United States.
From our country.
My
second home.
And so I just go cast my vote, and some good news to come. Just as we already project them 2-3 days ago, and tell everybody, McCartney will become the next Canadian Prime Minister, and he will win a majority government. I already predicted him a week ago. So good news to come. They say the Liberal government of McCartney, the economist and former Bank of Canada governor and Bank of England governor, I will lead this country and transform this country. So that's really good news. That's really good news.
Okay.
Really
good news for your second home. Thank you. Good news for your second home.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thanks. Before you go get you go take one Hennessy or 117.38 for this news for your country. And also for war. The last thing I want to ask you.
Yes.
Recently, we learned some meeting take place for Ghana. And also you'll expose a lot of files that come for your table. This particular dossier, what you know about this issue, we hear about Ghana, and then meeting about Ambazonians when they join for the. What if we talk about that particular meeting and what will be the purpose? You get an idea about them?
Number one, anything we bring Ambazonians together is a good thing. That's the first thing. Anything we get our people for talk together, for share ideas together, for reason together, is a good thing for Ambazonia. But the first time we will see the factions, the breakaway factions of the IG. But the first time with 3 of the factions of the IG, they come together. At the first time this. You get the IG of Yerima of Sisekwa Yoktabe and Yerima, the original IG. You get the IG of Marianata, IG of Maria. You get the IG of Chris Anu, the one-man show. And you get the sellout, the person where now split all the IG them. The master of scatter. Sleepy Kumeta. Right? Now he destroyed the IG. We all want to know this one, right? Maybe did it. And then you get Chairman Dr. Kwanga. Bidede. So the facts say they come together. My first good sign. Be very positive. The second thing, the second reason, they don't get any more relevance and any more influence. They did now on which they call it leadership by title. So they just exist. They just call them leaders, so they exist. Right?
Yep.
If you see someone like Kometa, they don't run the liberation struggle. All right? They don't run. And then if you see someone like Maria, they don't run. You see someone like Yerima, like they don't run. So once in a while, they come together for call these unity conferences and gathering for the purposes for show signals say that they still exist and they still matter and they're still relevant. All those optics, they be important. All those optics, they be important. And why it be say the egg of Sino at 10? Why the egg of Sino at 10? Why the egg of Sino go Ghana? Why the egg of Sino go Ghana?
Broken up away.
A very dangerous time this. The meeting not be get any significance to the liberation struggle. In terms of significance. The meeting be significant only to those movements for put themselves out against it that they still exist. That's not the whole essence of the meeting is. All right? The whole essence of the meeting for these 5 persons, that's who they still exist and who they still they in the struggle. That their whole essence is. In terms of Ambazonian, the meeting not get any significance whatsoever. There's no significance to the Ambazonian people. Okay. But it be significant for, say, the factions of the IG. At least they don't start for dialogue and for talk. Say the feet come together and act as one. That's good. We want that. We want that. But does it have any effect on the liberation? No. Does it have any implications on the liberation? No. You get anything we come up from there we don't affect the liberation struggle? No. Has it anything we don't come out there we don't benefit ground zero? No. But if fine for diplomatic optics, just say that it still exists. So that one fine. They don't get any implication to the liberation struggle and they don't get any bearing on the egg of sea. Yes, from my understanding, the egg of sea that we be informed said this meeting will take place. That once the egg of sea looked at the substance and the relevance of the meeting in terms of moving significant leaders of the egg of sea for send them for Ghana, it not be that consequential and will not see the need for participate for those meetings at this moment until when things they matter a lot, they get a good meaning and they get something substantial. At that moment, the egg of sea will be participate for these bilateral meetings with other movements. But at this moment, we like to leave them, may they go do their thing first, may they go organize themselves first, try to set up themselves, maybe do a little bit of reconciliation. They go find make Chris Anoyi and how they call it, Yerima, they reconcile. If I make Chris Anoyi and Siseko Ayoktabe, they reconcile. They go find make Maria and Siseko Ayoktabe, they reconcile. If I make this movement, they reconcile with each other, at least they start to get something where they fit talk together. So, but overall, the atmosphere in terms of for me, it was overall a bit positive for the liberation struggle. For sure, say Ambazonian they not be as divided as the world may go for be. It's fine.
Why Ghana?
Ghana na Kwanga is second home. It be in control of the meeting, it be in control of the event. Na Kwanga is show. Just know so, all right. This what Ghana na Kwanga is second home. This thing all na Kwanga is show.
Yeah.
All right. So the end point, I say, look, the end point, I say, Pa Akwanga one show say he be in charge of certain factions. I want at the end, I just throw out this optics so that make people they understand. All right. At the end, Pa Akwanga one show say he be in charge. So why Ghana? Ghana na Akwanga is second home.
You know, if I want to come for this show or for prepare this show or just during the day, I will get reports for intelligence for ground to say there's a mass dissertation of like the Cameroon. Their fighters, the soldiers. There is a certain amount of dissertation from them, particularly the ones they send them for Ambazonian territory, of which I be here from the intelligence we gather for ground. A very good thing for Ambazonians. And because logically from which I hear they're complaining, I see the fight not waiting and waiting the end game, you know. We get a good intel and one continue for use this small time with you, but my important guest. One continue for encourage La Republic Cameroon soldiers them. You don't get any beef in this matter. As the spokes don't talk, you be just a pawn on the chessboard for the oligarchs and for continue for live on the 1% where they live on for resources. They live on that 1% while the jackals they take 99%. Then they use you as a pawn on the chessboard for continue to maintain their trinkets where they get them from Ulan. We encourage like the Cameroon soldiers them. You no get no beef in this fight. Drop your weapons, give your weapons, sell them for we. We'll give you a safe passage into Nigeria. A lot of them don't do them. Now a good thing, now a good news, and one make one for understand. Ambazonians will keep on for teach. And so one thing that I want to talk before I make this spinning can ask you.
Just my add for what you talk now.
Yeah.
The number of La Republique where did they leave their uniform, where did they take their uniform, they throw them or they burn them, they be alarming. The person where the big people they would be in charge of even gendarmes and police.
Mm-hmm.
And the one that would be in charge of organizing training for La Republique du Cameroon military for outside of Cameroon.
Mm-hmm.
They don't cancel all foreign training. All. You don't suspend all foreign training. Even for police, even for gendarmes, even for their intelligence services, they don't cancel all foreign training for everybody. Because the number of soldiers where they lost them in terms of the one where they just leave uniform, move uniform, throw away and burn them, sell their materials. And another, the number be too high. So fear the inside La Republique. Say now where the end time become rich, all these soldiers where they run for go fight for Ukraine, and Ukraine don't Russia don't increase the money we pay, and Ukraine now they even increase the money we want to pay foreign mercenaries to almost $3,000. If you don't be in service for about 3 to 5 years. So that means if you be La République du Cameroun police, army, gendarme, B, presidential guard, when you be a B, your first 2 years they pay you 52,000 for B. First 2 years, 52,000 per month. Now after that 2 years, they will move your salary to 63,000 for a B. And then around 4 years before you start for enter the 4,000 or the 5,000. So if you did for B, you did for police, you did for gendarme, you don't be there 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. My brother, even if you need to hear English, hear this pidgin. Come out, go join Ukraine. Come out, go for Russian embassy for Nigeria. Say you want to fight under Russia. They go take you, they give you visa, they send you for Russia. You would make $2,000 per month plus monthly allowance. $2,000 now 1 million. You want to make 51,000, 52, 53,000 francs, or you want to make 1 million every month. You want to fight with a military. We didn't even give you chop. You didn't even know you exist. Or you want to go fight if you send better money for your family. Why do you fight for? Ambazonian no be Cameroon, no be Ambazonian, no be Cameroon get them. You can't fight for them, you go die for nothing. Come out, go make your money. All right? Come out, go make your money, because Russia and Ukraine, they define as professional soldiers who already get field experience, training. Leave La République. Ambazonian forces, they will help you. You pass for inside Ambazonian territory. We know how which bush, if you take you pass through. You cross, go for Nigeria. You cross, go join Russia and Ukraine. You go fight so that you make better money. You help your family. You want to make 53,000 or you want to make 1 million per month. You waste your time for La République military. Now time this for abandon those wicked people then, but they don't spoil that country. Go fight for your family, your pikin, your mommy, a woman, a future. Make 1.5 million, 1.5 million a month, instead of making 74,000 francs. We not even pay house rent for Douala or for Yaoundé.
So yeah, the good news. As United continue for this, as they desert, bring your weapons, hand them for we will pay you. We'll pay you your money. We help you give a safe passage through. As it don't happen, we want to put this news out. We put her out there for La République Cameroon soldiers them. We don't know what to do. You don't get a life. Come for Ambazonian Defense Forces. Find we. We'll go buy your gun, buy your material. We'll give you a safe passage to go through Nigeria to save your life. Because if you come, say you fight, you go die for land. You fight now a futile fight where you don't get any stake in this battle. Come, as your brothers, they don't come plenty. We know some of them. So when they're out, I talk for like Cameroon soldiers. Some of your brothers and they out already. With the pass na through we sell their material, we give them a safe passage. They leave. So we don't learn again recently. There's a wave that's taking place. Come. Go buy that thing, you save your life, you go you. Then for there for place where you want to fight we go use every means or every tool will take you out, you die for nothing. That all they don't even know where I don't even die, they don't even know I don't even exist. Because some of them, a lot of them, they on a cops don't even go back. They don't care. They don't care about you. We get that heart for talk say we will care about you, give your material for we will pay you money, you leave, we'll send you out for Nigeria.
We don't only pay you money, we'll pay you better money.
Better money. We'll pay you better money for your materials. We'll give you a safe passage. You go. So many of them are not informed.
And when you want to come on, not only carrying your material, thief more materials.
We'll get the means to pay. We'll go pay.
Thief more bullets.
Yeah.
So that as you go now, you get enough money. You get 1, 2, 3 million.
Yeah.
Where if you live and for your family.
Yes.
And then you get another
take the rest.
2
You go.
million where you go carry and go.
You go.
Before you go, thief material.
Enough material.
Thief materials.
We'll pay you. We'll
carry
pay you.
Sell them for
we'll pay you. Yes.
You pay better money.
Yeah. Then you continue. You take a safe passage.
And then we'll show you better road.
To go.
Whether people know will see you. You cross. You go make better money for Russia and for Ukraine.
Spokes, your second home, they give you good news. They send you good vibes. I know say that the smile that we did for your heart. And as we continue to fight for the liberation for home, for real home.
You know what? I'd be happy, right? I'd be happy because we know how to analyze political events and come to good conclusion. And then it happened as we talk. We talk about Trump. He owned 3 months before that. Advised the organization, show them everything why Trump will win the election. It happened. This one too will start for talking since this man start campaign. The moment he make a first speech, I talk say the man this way will be the next Canadian Prime Minister. And throughout the campaign, I don't tell everybody. Last night we get a group of friends who they come by, we talk. And the same thing I tell them, I say, look, I need to tell you who's for vote, but I want to just tell you how the election will end up tonight. And then the points and this and the point and this today. Right now, the polls they close all across Canada. The polls and for place where me a day, they close 1 hour and a half ago, 2 hours ago. The polls and for the other western part of Canada, they just close in the next 5 minutes. So within the next 10 minutes, by now they would already finish or make the declaration anyways.
Okay, wow. Good to think that your candidate will win. Spokes, thanks very much for this.
It's for the benefit of this country. This country need a new
reset,
a re-engineering. Too much of a beautiful country for any person, for any other country for it threatening them.
No worry. That one I talk for another day. So, Spokes, I really thank you for this deep analysis. At times, for our viewers, it looked too raw but too real. It looked too raw but too real because it is what it is. Spokes to give you the spokesperson for AGOV, they give you the reality for ground. No sugar coating. People, their thought process. Wait today for people that back mind. The importance that say you must get them the way it is. It is what it is. What do you do with it? I know at time when I talk with spokes, it hit me to my bones. But Ambazonian get forget, the revolutionaries and the nationalists get forget to that realization. Say, wait till we fight them. If we not see them, call them for which way it be. We know we'll make the progress way we intend and we expect for getting. Now, either way, at times,
if we make a promise, maybe to ourselves, say, at least me and you, if we come out once a week, it will fine. You know.
Yep. Very important.
Come out once a week. Maybe we'll make the program. We'll make the program a little bit shorter, so that we'll break some of these things. And because sometimes it be too much for people, and for take so much information all at once.
Yes.
So maybe we'll make an hour max, and then we'll do 2 programs or split and forget the different conversations. These interactions will be very vital for Ground Zero. They'll be very vital for our people there. These exchanges will be. Also again now, even up in our AGOV now. Which other place where people come together like this and then they get these kind of conversations?
Yeah. You know, but just it's true because it changed mindset on way to the fight for. The way we start this battle, as you rightfully put them, it was a lot of jam-packed naivety. But as we don't mature into the revolution, when we come to see the world the way it be, we don't step out of that cocoon. For those say yes, we fight for freedom. How we get for fight? Which they out there, which they understand by having a statehood. How we get for approach. At times, Ambazonians, when the spokes give the raw meat for you, so now so it day, we get to take them the way they wait till you that information na matter. How I just yourself na matter. Wait to be at stake na matter. You know, spokes, they always talk say, sometime they for inside village, small thing that they play around, small, but some hour they way, that real witchcraft it come out. Some hour away for pub way nobody hour would expect him. It could show itself on time for daylight. When they don't knock it on that belly.
Angbu.
Yes.
They call him for Boki. For Boki say Angbu. When Angbu come on now. Angbu na the juju of all juju.
Yes.
Yeah. And that juju of all juju, when he come out, now he be the final of all juju. So when he come out, he own sound for the drum with the beat. You know ever hear that for your life.
Yes.
So
whatever that state, this Ambazonian revolution. Yeah. Whatever that state, Ambazonian way, the things they will be think will be perceive them. If no be they will be perceive them. The things they will be expect them. The rationale, the kind of we feel that the world be rational and just. It not be the way it be. There's a second layer to it. And the second layer this way be exposed to we Ambazonians. Now we spoke to put her out for we all. Now, what do we do about it?
No, we need to come back. We'll come back. We'll get a series of these conversations. Because just because people hear information one time, it don't mean that information will sink in, right?
True.
So we need to get a lot more of these interactive sessions. We'll bring this information, put them back for our people then. We'll give many different examples. As things that happen, we'll come back. We can give context. We'll put them out for our people then. Look, for we to be effective, we need to be raw.
Yeah.
We need to be honest with our people then.
Yes.
Right? But at the same time, as much as we did, our goal now for inspire, elevate, and empower our people then,
yeah,
we need to be raw. Right? We need to take a lot of things out.
Mm-hmm.
We need to care for our people then. We need to support our people then. But we need to be raw. We need to be honest, and we need to be truthful.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I learned when I be study the psychology of General Schwarzkopf,
mm-hmm.
and they ask you say, what to make an effective leader,
mm-hmm.
and what to be making effective when they be deployed for, I think for the first Gulf War.
Mm-hmm.
They say you have to be honest with the soldiers.
Yep.
Even if things are really bad, you have to be honest with them.
Yeah.
They say the more honest you are with them,
mm-hmm.
the more you build that trust, and then the more they can know the risk they are willing to take for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So our goal not been just for motivate, our goal not for get real with our people them as to what it requires. And what it go happen. What it will be the potential consequences on our people
mm-hmm.
if they relax.
Yeah.
You know what the consequences will be? It means say the picking them for Norway, the picking them for Denmark, the picking them for England, the picking them for France. As they retrieve those resources, I forgive those picking them the best life ever. Why you the Ambazonian picking? 10 years later, 15 years later, you would come back for Norway, can't ask for asylum. You would come back for Norway, can't beg for job. You would come back for Norway because they want to keep you poor so that you feel they come for be an economic beggar instead of be a king and a queen. You see the people of those Persian Gulf countries. You see the people, they can't do odd jobs outside here. Why? I know it's the Prime Minister of Dubai, since 9/11 happened, the last I said they get for pool $2 trillion out of the United States economy. At the time, this would change the economy from being oil dependent, for create a new economy where it would be like tourism, financial services, and for be a distribution hub for technology and real estate. They also build the best seaport for those places. It is out for all their people them. All their people them. They get the highest education. They get the highest medical care. I think they want that for the Amazonian people them.
And we'll get the resources.
This
We'll
thing
get the capability.
for we, for be economic migrants, refugees, asylum seekers, for supply cheap labor, sacrifice our own lives to the West. We must end them. That we must be the West. We must be more than the West.
Yeah.
We'll get what it take, but it will take this generation for deliver that independence and that freedom.
Yeah.
If we do them,
Yeah.
it depend on all we.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, spokesperson. Thank you. And I will end this live show. Personally, I will talk to. I get a personal thing for tell Ambazonians as a person, because I get a question from a friend yesterday where I visit them for some beginning communion. They asked me a question. You study for revolution. I get some thing I want to leave on before I go.
Go,
To
leave
Ambazonians.
them, bro. Leave them for them.
Before Ambazonians, I don't spend 50 years of my life, above 50 years of my life, more than 50 years, over half a century for myself. One more years above which I don't spend of my life going forward, a sacrifice of Ambazonia. And I could walk this journey till my last breath. If I die in this cause, I will die with a smile. No shakedown or bullet where I would take them for Ambazonia. Because the risk will always face them, it be equal. No shakedown, it could push me out. My remaining life, my remaining years I get them for this world, no matter how many years with the Supreme Being don't kill him, he live them for me years. Where I see get them. I will fight for my people. I no go ever tap out. That's the only thing I have to live for. That's my country. I could take that extra. I don't talk, say I live the 50 years for my life, above 50 years of my life for my family, but they don't come to for understand the remaining years so I get for live where God go keep me for this world. I will fight for my people. And it could be a very blessed, glorious day. I don't hold soldiers in my hand. They die inside my hand. One more I could live for. I will give my own last breath while I live and for this world for my people and Ambazonia. And no come. This was never a show for me.
Yeah.
It was.
You don't talk at all. You don't talk at all.
Thank you very much, spokesman. Thanks.
All right, bro.
And thank you very much. And I want to tell you, say, congratulations for your new prime minister
Yes.
and your new government. We could chart a pathway for your country and your country of residence. As we continue to fight for our country of birth, I hope and I wish that the new government when they come in, it will be somehow sympathetic for our cause. I want if we make inroads to for see how if we be of help for we for claim back with nation. And know for your country, you get the same dynamics we learn get out like Cameroon, but the difference and the beauty about your country of racism, I say, they don't always give Quebec don't always get the opportunity for get a referendum for decide whether to stay with mainland Canada or for be by themselves. They don't always get that opportunity and that for make that determination or decision by themselves. Hopefully, your country and your government will be a transmission stream, one of the transmission streams them for give you the opportunity for demonstrate which way Canada give opportunity for Quebec for demonstrate and also live in two different dynamics. But you always talk on one thing. Interest comes first.
These good people then. A very good country. They show up from Ambazonian, they don't show up from Ambazonian. The document where they move on for their parliament for April 2021, there is no other parliament in the world don't ever move that kind document. Okay. And they change the figures of how many people don't kill of Ambazonian. The first time they changed them, they move on from 3,000 to 6,000. And that number, since then, all man now they still use them, saying that 6,000 people don't be killed. They talk a lot of things for that their press, for that their House of Commons hearing, what they be doing for August 2021. We'll talk on some time. Remember, now they initiate, let the pre-talks process until the Republic back out. So we hope, say, with the new government coming in, the Ambazonian Governing Council, as much as we do lobby for the United States, will also be open or engage even the new government if they fit restart the pre-talks agreement with the United States. But remember, anything that we do, it must be in consultation with our lobbying partners. Right?
Yeah.
No matter who come on the table, it must be with lobbying partners. So, but in all, I just want to thank you. First of all, I want to thank you very much. Not for the commitment, because a lot of people they not will get this kind of energy and talent and sacrifice and continuous learning and development. You did read a lot, you did research a lot. We will continue to be better and better and better for self our people them. The more we do for our people them, the more God bless all we.
Thank you so much.
The passion we will get them will be multiplied. Leaders, that's what God will choose them. And that's where they start. So I want to encourage you and I want to thank you a lot for all your sacrifices. It will not be easy for be out here with all we to the face them, both internally and externally, and on a daily basis. We answer calls, we give people hope, we explain for people them, we redirect people them, we motivate people them, we encourage people them. You deal with forces, you help forces, motivate them, calm them down sometimes, pray with them sometimes, educate them. So you do a lot. You be a rising star for the Ambazonian Governing Council. You get your potentials, your leadership potentials. We all, this journey now, we all make progress.
Well, thank you very much for that.
You get a lot of potentials. I see so much potentials in you. I know say like for give me compliments, my brother. Sometimes when I just look at you, I'm like, wow, where does this guy get his strength from?
Well, now the gods of Ambazonia, they give me the strength. Well, spokes, I know very well, see you get other very serious commitments in back.
I want go start for follow-up election results.
Yeah, besides that, I know say you get other things that happen during the weekend.
Reading after 11 o'clock. Now it's supposed to be my reading time. But after I finish that one, I go for it for about 2-3 hours before sleep.
Oh, okay. Thanks so much, spokes. Thank you very much. And I want to thank Ambazonians and we, particularly the few ones where they up at this time for continue for listen to we. Aluta continua will continue. We get one statement also. Homeland or death will continue for fight for homeland because now which they will be brought for this war for do which we do currently. We'll fight for homeland till homeland be completely liberated. Thanks, spokesman. And till next time, as we rightfully talk, we'll try to commit for the do at least once a week for continue for update with people there and for continue to keep them abreast of the revolution and for see the revolution the way it was supposed to see them. And you will continue to give the reality and the rawness for which we're supposed to understand and how we're supposed to approach this liberation war. Thank you very much. And get a good night. Yeah, thank you.
Shake, shake, no day, our voice will resound. Ambazonia's people will never back down. The chains are broken, the pain is gone. Freedom is ours, and a new day has dawned. Shake, shake, no day, no day, no day. Rise to the day, the day, the day. Shake, shake, no day. Amazonia stands strong. We're marching forward where we belong. From the rivers to the peaks, our strength will grow. The dreams of our forebears in us brightly glow. Our heroes, heroines, their fire still burns. We honor their fight with the justice we've earned. Shake, shake, now win. No day, no day. Rise to the day, the day, the day. Shake, shake, no day. Amazonia stands strong. We're marching forward where we belong. We are building today for the children to come. No more tears, no more sorrow for anyone. Our flag will rise high, its colors displaying. Ambazonia's bright future starts today. Shake, shake, over. No day, no day. Rise to the day, the day, the day. Shake, shake, no day. Ambazonia stands strong. We're marching forward where we belong. We'll shake off the fear and cast out the doubt. Our spirits will rise, there's no turning out. Freedom is our anthem, justice our creed. Shake, shake, no day. With love we will lead. Shake, shake, but that no day, no day. Rise to the day, the day, the day. Shake, shake, no day. Amazonia stands strong. We're marching forward where we belong. Shake, shake, no day. The future is bright. Ambazonia will shine like a beacon of light. With every heartbeat, our message will be sent. Shake, shake, no day, until the very end. A cruise boy to sing. Under the moon, where they vex, your whispers they jam. Dreams scatter like ashes for night where they cold. Oh, break, scatter like branch for storm. Now bad people hand innocent they suffer. Oh mama, Ambazonian, your heart they pay. Tears they fall like a river, like the sky they cry again. IDPs and refugees they walk out. Widows they hold space where they empty, them cry go they echo. For the shock where they hollow. Dr. Cho, Sissiko and others, them train them but them no fit bow. Them voice now like thunder, where they under dark clouds. World where the town face go far, no care. They cold, you leave your children, they suffer. Them stories they untold. Oh mama, Ambazonian, your heart they pain. Tears they fall like a river, like the sky they cry again. IDPs and refugees they walk out. Widows they hold space where they empty, them cry go they echo. For they talk where they alone. Inside these shadows, small fire they grow. Freedom they call, where hopelessness been they show. For every heart, resistance they burn. Ambazonian go stand gidigba, you no go fear night. Oh mama, Ambazonian, your heart they pain. Tears they fall like a river, like the sky they cry again. IDPs and refugees they walk out. Widows they hold space where they empty, them cry go they echo. For this hug go they hollow. Mama Ambazonian, your scars they talk story of courage where no they shame. Even when wind they blow scatter, for morning light we go them. Their children go they sing, a freedom way go fly high, like wings for sky. Ooh yeah, the kayaba, no vex better go follow. Ambazonian, our own and son. A conspiracy, we go win. Our brave boys do the work for the ground. Wanna flag there.
Welcome to ACN.